Okay, what's up, everybody? Happy 2026. So, we're a week into it, and the first video today is going to be, again, pretty short. Just wanted to give you a little heads up on how incredible these plants do. Which, I mean, I don't remember if you look back and I'll just way back in the videos, but this plant here was a tiny little, it looked like a cupcake when I bought it. Yeah, I bought it for my wife, and it was like this tiny little thing. It just looked like a cupcake. So it had like some pink leaves like that one, and some white ones like that one. But it was just this little, like, it was about that big in that little thing there, you know what I mean? And it just went absolute, look at it. Look at how crazy. It actually got flowers on it, which I didn't even know it was gonna have flowers, but those are cool, right? Little purple ones. They're everywhere too. So that was really cool. And so we'll just my fish tanks are again didn't get to scrape them up and get the algae off. I'm sorry, but everybody's doing pretty good. Right now, I am in the middle of. We're going to be moving. I told you those little glow guys over to the little Corey guys over to the cattle ranch. There's hey, look what it is. Those guys are doing good. The little pea puffer guys. I don't want to bother them too much because they're always. I don't know what's. Oh, I'm sorry. You can see that they're always like. Where is he? They're always. Sometimes chasing each other around, or I think somebody is pregnant again though for some reason. Also, our little guy, he's hard to find, but he's in there, and every once in a while, like he's just there all of a sudden, There's some guys down there, right? You can see them guys hanging out down there, and then of course, again, I didn't. They're back there. And they're jousting, I think, or they're mating. I don't know, but you can see how the algae on the front of the glass is killing everything. So we're not gonna stay too long on these guys. I wish that little guy was around though. He's so cool because he's just like floating around. He don't care about the other dudes really. He never seems to be worried about them so much. Which I thought he would be real, like try to stay away from them all the time. But he's just around, like you just see him over there. He's just like bothering that shrimp or something, But so that was about one of the things I really wanted to show everybody was check this. First of all, here's my avocado tree. It keeps, like I said, it keeps taunting me. It shows all these beautiful little leaves, like it's gonna just start doing something, but I've never had an avocado go. But this is what I really wanted to show you. Look at this Christmas cactus. Look at those flowers. Don't they look like flying birds? I was kind of shocked. Like, what is that? Look at that thing. That is pretty wild. I don't know if I get the other guy. There he is. Right? I was like, what are those things? Those are the flowers. That's so cool. So let's go up to... So what's going to happen is, I guess, all of these little guys, all those little guys are going to get to be those. But that is like a wild flower, right? That is such a wild looking thing. Look at that. So I just wanted to get a video of that because I thought that was just the most coolest thing. Because when I looked at it, I even told my wife, I said, don't they look like kind of like little birds and stuff, which is pretty cool. Imagine if there's all of those little pink things on the end go do that. Holy crap. So that was pretty cool. On to these guys. So I did a little scrapage on these guys today just so I could see them. And where are we? Okay, so we're doing... these guys are all getting put into the cattle ranch because they just been going bananas in there, eating like pigs. So what we're going to do is this, since they're all growing so big now, we are going to train them. So what we're doing is, and here's my little Molly guys again. These guys are so nice. I like these guys because they're so like, they all hang out. They just want to get fed. Sorry. They just want to get fed. They don't really bother nobody, like. Okay, and the cattle ranch, of course, is the cattle ranch. These guys are doing pretty good. You could see some of the little guys that went in there last night. There's another guy back there, little guys. The little guys always tend to hang out, like, down here for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe this is like, I don't know, sometimes I get worried, like this is like the little, cemetery. So if they die, it always seems to be like they're over there. I gotta go fish them out behind the friggin' filter back there. But these guys, everybody so far seems to be doing really, really good. Like you can see those little guys there, hanging out. Look at that guy. You see that little guy, right? Let me see if I could. Whoop. He's over there. He's cruising. He's hanging with the older guys. There's another little guy that went in. They're all over now because I put a bunch of them in here. I was kind of, again, I'm always worried about doing things like that because it's like all of a sudden it's like, they just didn't make it. Sometimes like even those guys over there, it's like, see that little green guy? I would be watching that guy for 20 minutes until those other guys pushed him and he moved. And then once he moved, I'm like, okay, he moved. But so far, I'm surprised because I really haven't there might be one casualty today. I don't know. We're going to find out. But they seem to be doing okay. A couple of them I just put in a couple of minutes ago, so it takes them a couple of minutes to get their bearings, like, But we'll see. But I just wanted to... Oh, and look at this thing. I know I'm just rambling on, but whatever. It's one of those days, so tell it. This thing's just grow. Oh, that was a couple other things. Now that I'm... Look at that thing, man. What the hell? That just is crazy, right? Okay, so what I wanted to also show you is I really love these catfish, okay? I want my tank to be catfish and shrimp, and I would even let it be maybe trumpet snails. Any of those other, well, I don't know about nerite snails, maybe nerite snails, and maybe assassin snails, because I don't think they eat plants, but those snails right there, those guys, whatever, the ram's ones, forget it. They just eat everything, but with no ram's ones in there, look at the roots of that plant. They're down into the substrate, which is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Also, that little green guy finally moved, so he wasn't dead. There he is, actually, I think, in there. So that's good. And these guys are doing good. And, okay, so what I want to say is, again, excuse the algae all over the place, but the point I'm going to make is this is infested with snails. And you can see they wrecked the plants. The plants are absolutely wrecked, okay? I hate trumpet snails because they just infest everything, but at least they don't eat the plants. These guys, look at them. Look at the size of him, just because he's eating like a pig. And I'll show you another guy. This is in this 90 here with these glow guys. Watch this guy if I can find him. Oh, maybe this is him? Let me see. Is he alive? I don't know. He might be gone. But he's huge. Watch. I mean, you can just see how big they are, though, right? I mean, they're just big snails. Look at that guy. He's munching. But look at all those little trumpet snails. The only thing is, like I said, I don't think the trumpet snails really eat my plants. But if you look, you always see those guys eating the plants. So what I'm thinking is, we have to get rid of these. First of all, we have to get rid of the ramshorns, guys. That's number one. Number two, the little fish, like guppies, like these guys, did the same thing. They completely wasted the plant roots that were in there. The whole, I don't know, if you look back on the videos again, I'm pretty sure you'll see that this, when I first set this up with the wood and everything, there was roots all over the place. But because these little guys, and I'm sure the snails had to do with it too, but these little fish also, just like the mollies too, they just wrecked. Look what they did to that. Right? That thing was going crazy. Now look at it. You see how whitish it is now, and the roots in there are pretty much gonzo. It's like that thing's doing pretty good too. So what I think I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to make a little, like a planter, almost like this here, right? Almost like my planter thing here. Only what I'm going to do is, I'm going to make it out of this. I have this stuff here. Let me see if I can explain this. Because obviously, I can't just shove plants in the water anymore. Even here, look at the mollies here. Thank God they well, I guess because these guys get fed tons and they just always want to eat that, you know what I mean? They're not really into the roots, I guess. But if you look, there's not much happening in there as far as roots go. And that plant's been around for a long time. You can see he goes all the way around and around and around and around. But he's nice and green and stuff over here. You know, you can see he's always making new shoots and stuff. But if you look back there, you see how he's like barely hanging on. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm actually going to take him down. And I'm going to switch him. I'm going to shove that into there, hang it across into there, and then hang it back up again, so that maybe these roots can start sucking in here, because these guys won't eat the roots, so the roots will really do good here. Even if these guys eat some of the roots, the roots will still be getting nutrients from that one, so it should do a little bit better here, and we'll see about that. But what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to take these, I forgot what they were called exactly, but they're just mesh, like, but they're plastic stuff, like almost like filter or whatever you want to call it. I forgot what they were called, but and I think I'm going to make little, I don't want to say boxes, but I guess boxes is fine, because I don't know if you can see the like how big the squares are. They're obviously, you know, not microscopic, but they're super small. I mean, I don't think fish, especially not those mollies, they're not going to go in there. So what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to make little boxes out of this stuff and start putting the like the shoots of the plants that I'm putting in the water, instead of just dropping them in the water, putting them in those little boxes first to kind of protect the roots from getting eaten so much. Like I figure they'll have room to grow in the little box, like, and even if some little tiny fry get in there, they're not gonna, like, you know, totally munch on the whole plant. But if like these guys were in there, forget about it, they'd eat the crap out of it, right? So imagine having a little cage around the roots. Like, so what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna make a couple of different styles, or whatever you want to call it, sizes or whatever, shapes and stuff. I'll make like a long one, you know, maybe. But actually I was gonna make like long ones this way, almost like you know, like rose vases, those long, you know, those stems, like they're just a long thin vase, like, only just make it like a little tube of that mesh stuff on a hanger and shove the root of the plant, the shoot that I'm going to put in there, and then hang that in the water, so that, like I said, even if maybe whatever, a little fry or maybe a little snail gets in there, it ain't going to be as bad as having, you know, just 24 hours munching going on. So anyways, sorry to ramble on. That was a long video, and all right, see you guys later.